Or LPS.
LPS, yeah.
As we like to abbreviate it. So L stands for Liverpool, the P stands for podcast, and the S stands for studio.
Wow. You'll go far.
Wow.
So
Mind blown.
We're here today with a good friend of ours and quite a good band as well. Pondarosa. Hello, Pondarosa.
Straight
Hello.
in, no
Hello, Minerva.
Hi guys.
Yes, boys. Podcast weather.
It is proper podcast weather today,
Proper
innit?
podcast weather. Them lights are bright, man. Feel like I'm cooking. I do.
Is it podcast weather though? This is our podcast virginity being taken here.
Well, you tell me where do you just listen to podcasts? What's podcast weather for you?
What do you mean, like?
Have you never heard the Scouts meme? Yes, boys, shorts weather.
Yeah. Oh, I'm onto it now.
That's like what Scouts are saying. Yes, boys, shorts weather.
Yeah, so what's podcast?
When it's raining.
It was just it's a play
When
on
it's
words,
raining though,
that,
innit? If it's sun's out, you're like...
This is my question though, yeah? When do you listen to a podcast?
Weather does not affect me. If I want to listen to a podcast, I'll
I'm taking this very literal.
Weather does not stop me.
No, okay.
Too hard for the weather, you lad.
Yeah.
Nothing affects me.
You know what?
Yeah, but other weather, aren't you?
I will focus on the podcast. That is what.
I love that. Okay. Rain for me though. If it's raining, I'm like, ooh, podcast.
Yeah.
Like, or first thing?
What?
The first thing you think about?
In the morning? Oh, I'm going to get a podcast.
Oh, it's raining. Raining, I'll get a podcast then before I go to
Wonder
work.
what I listen to today. The Minerva Podcast. Do you know what's quite annoying though? People say to me like, oh, I've listened to that episode. I'm like, I haven't listened to that since that was out. Do you know what I mean? I think when I want to listen to a podcast, do I want to go back and listen to the podcast that I put hours into?
Yeah, but wait to listen to your own podcast though.
Is that proper weird? I don't do it, but it probably will.
Yeah, but
be
you
weird.
just have to listen to so much of it when you're editing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't.
Well, Jacob.
He's like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Get onto it there, lad.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Snookered.
Fucking hell. Nice one, God.
Anyway, straight in with the band. Question I want to know.
band.
Question I want to know is, where did the name come from for the viewers at home? Pondarosa, because it's quite an extravagant name, isn't it?
And listeners.
I'll let the Sheffield contingent take this one.
So it was definitely like, well, it still is a park back home.
Used to be.
I think.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever actually. It feel like it just came to us, even though there is an origin behind it, but it just was there.
We
one
never
day.
actually really discussed it. Just we turned up for practice one day and we were like, yeah, I think we are Pondarosa.
I think the
Yeah.
park
We all said it
named
at the
us,
same
didn't
time.
Yeah, in unison.
3, 2, 1. Pondarosa.
And the best bit is we've never all been in the Pondarosa together,
Oh, okay.
Really?
have we?
No, I doubt it.
Is it a nice park?
Yeah.
It's
What
alright.
what
Massive.
type of park
Massive.
is it like? Like compared it to one in maybe Liverpool or London? Or...
It's quite a hill. It's got a lot, because that's what Pondarosa means, a lot of trees.
Yeah.
I googled this
Did you?
2 years into being in the band. I was like, what is it actually?
probably I never knew this.
Better
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
And it's
I
got
wanna
lots of
change it now.
trees. And it does have a
lots
lot
of
of
trees.
trees, that park. So
Yeah, you can't
I
really
mean,
play
most
footy in
parks
there.
do.
Me and
like-
Cal had a game of footy in there, and he was at the top of the hill, and I was at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
Didn't really go that well.
I don't know. It's just like a hill. It's like it's a hill, but just sort of. It's quite narrow, quite long, and if you're at the top of the hill, you are just sort of like kind of snakes round a little bit. You're always going downhill. There is like an actual like swings and roundabout bit at the top,
Play area.
but it's
Swings
play
and
area.
roundabouts. Yeah.
It's like
Play area is
Swings
exactly
and
what it's
Swings and
about.
roundabouts.
So basically you're saying it'd be a good park for like a cheese rolling competition or something?
Yeah.
I wasn't saying that, but yeah, it might be. It might be.
Come to
Yeah.
think of it, yeah. There's a gap in the market there for the international Sheffield cheese roll competition.
Maybe that's why tramlines had to move. Because
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like,
the-
oh, we should probably put some cheese down there instead of music.
Sheffield
it'd
got
be a
trams,
waste.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
No, we mean
The festival.
The festival.
Oh.
It's like
It
their
does have
version of
trams as
Sound
well.
City.
Oh, okay. So was it in that park?
Yeah.
It used
On a
to be,
hill?
yeah.
Used to, yeah.
On the flat bit at the bottom of
By
the
the swings
hill.
and roundabouts?
Yeah, no.
By the finish
other
line.
end of the swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
Other end.
Okay, boss. So when did you actually form? Because I've always just known like God. Since I've known God, he's been in a band. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Jay
It
knows
was when
Gad
you moved to
pre-band.
Manchester.
Yeah, September 2017. Around that was when I moved to Manchester. So
Yeah.
around that time.
I'd say from then onwards, in some form or another, we've been Pondarosa.
I love that.
We've been Pondarosa. You've been the Minerva Podcast.
He's been Jacob. You've been great. What camera am I looking to here, Jacob?
Any of them.
Yeah. Where are they? Oh, they all that side, yeah?
This is yours and Jay's. This is for everybody.
Yeah.
This is for you guys. This is for you guys.
Oh, nice.
So,
Hi, viewers.
Obviously, I understand that. Obviously, that You actually didn't all live together. You two lived together, didn't you?
Yeah.
For the viewers at home, they all lived in Manchester together, and that's how they formed.
Did you all never live? Sorry, did you never all live together? No.
Never in the
Me and
same
Lawrence lived
house.
together. Those two lived together.
Yeah.
Okay, but go on. What was you gonna say?
That's why we're on this side. And they're not. We need a table between us.
So how did it actually form? How did it actually come about? Was it like
We were talking for like ages, weren't we?
We used
As
to
a bit of
joke
a
for
piss
years.
take, yeah.
About it, and then one day I was like, why don't we just do it?
Yeah. We had like an atrocious list of names as well. Like I don't want to go through them. They
Oh,
were
come
bad.
on,
Go
now
on,
you've
bad ones.
you spat
Spill
on
the
it?
beans.
Remember like what was on it? Like
It was like the Delaney.
The Delaney, yeah, things like
That's
that.
the only one I can really remember.
Was
Yeah.
that a
One
boozer or
called the
something?
Coronas.
No, it's something
swear.
similar.
Won't you give me some time, Corona?
But yeah, bad. So I'm glad
You
we
had
snapped
that
out.
I don't remember this list of names. I remember the Delaney. I remember hearing that being a potential name, but we were
They actually
always gonna
lived
be
in a building
Pondarosa.
called the Delaney, as we
Oh,
were
yeah.
considering that name. So we kind of thought it was fate, and then we were like, do we really want to be named after a Libertine song?
true.
And the
I
answer
had the
was no.
sixth form was called Delaney. It was Mr. Delaney, obviously. It wasn't Delaney. It wasn't like Madonna. Delaney.
It's a mononym.
What's your name? Delaney. Nah, it was-
And I will be your head of year.
Nah, he was sound, to be fair. He was alright. I thought it was a pub when you said the Delaney. I was like,
Sounds like a pub,
That's,
doesn't it?
good
but no,
boozer.
that's what we should have said. It is. It's a pub.
yeah, it's a pub in Sheffield by a park.
Yeah, the swings and roundabouts in the pub.
At the top of the pub.
Yeah,
It's a metaphorical pub, you know, swings and roundabouts. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
She could have been named after a pub or a park full of trees, and you chose a park full of trees.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
don't
choice.
say it like that, man.
They weren't named after a pub, it was a
Oh, come on,
building.
that's the joke.
That's the joke. Whoosh. It's my first cut for the viewers at home who've been watching. I know Jay has. I am actually drinking alcohol here as well. I owe you a tenner.
call the cops.
I said, you know what? He won't last. He definitely won't last. I believe in you, but he won't last.
Yeah. So I believe in you, but it won't happen. Nice one, yeah.
I think
Are
it
you
all
going
went
to be able to
downhill.
edit out that shade over there?
When you moved into ours, I think that's when it started off. Oh, we had the viewers at home. Me, him, and this young boy
There's
lived
been
together.
some big changes in life, hasn't there?
Yeah,
Recently,
yeah,
like
yeah.
big. Jacob's got a new studio. First episode back.
Yeah.
I live with you two, chumps. And chumps is a good word, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've heard about
that's the main
Gads
thing.
since June last year when we first met.
So many times. And you
I know, I've never been there.
Yeah, we usually in the basement when people come round.
Yeah, they let me
we
out
live
tonight.
together now. No, but the best thing you can be in life is adaptable. Like, imagine I was like, I'm not having a bevy, me. Like, my brother's 18th. Come
Yeah.
on. What would be the point
Yeah,
in
but
that?
it's moderation.
Moderation.
Even moderation itself, God.
But going back to the band again, we're going off on tangents here, aren't we? One of the reasons why we got you in today and we want to discuss is the new single. New single out. It's out on Friday, just gone.
It's out tomorrow, but a week ago.
Yeah.
You
That was
surprised me.
nice. That was really nice.
Quick maths.
So it's out on Friday.
Contingency.
So it's available on Spotify at the moment to watch. New single Sunbeams. What was the creative spark behind Sunbeams? Where did they come about from?
It was kind of in response to wanting to write a song about the circumstances that everyone had been in with lockdown and stuff, but not this whole like, oh my god, we're locked up and it's awful. It was like seeing the hope in the end of it, you know what I mean? And like the light at the end of the tunnel. And it felt like a big one for me in terms of my creative process, because it's like the first one we've really recorded since I've been making my own demos on Logic and stuff.
Yeah.
So it feels like a real step up in terms of songwriting and like technical stuff.
Yeah.
And it felt that way in the studio. I think we knew from the first drum beat that we were laying down something that was way better than stuff we'd done before.
Levels.
Levels, yeah.
Sounds it. It does sound it, like.
Yeah, it was nice to be in the recording studio because we've been there a couple of times now and start a song and think, oh yeah, this is actually much better than the last song we did, which, you know, we really like doing as well. So
Yeah.
every time we've been there, and especially this time, it's going in like, I'm actually really excited just to hear what this sounds like from the offset.
We quite like to measure our own progression. I think that's one thing we always talk about, like making
And how
sure
do you measure that?
just making sure what we're doing next is better than what we've done before. Like,
How do you know that though as a band?
There's not like a
It's a
checklist
feeling,
of
isn't
things.
it?
It's just sort of being more mature in like the song. Every song we've recorded definitely is just more of a. It just sounds. There's no like objective thing. It just subjectively
you
sounds
know,
better.
it's
it's
all the
nothing
time.
tangible.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
just like there's
Yeah.
a feeling behind it, knowing like, there's going to be a good reaction to this.
Yeah.
And you start hearing it when we're in the studio. It's like you start hearing how it's going to fit in the live set.
Yeah.
And being a bit excited about it and starting to like, when we were recording that chorus, because it was like the first time I'd really consciously decided, right, I need to write a chorus that's just like a catchy hook, and it's just one line, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I was like hearing it as like people singing it back to us as we were playing it, and I think it fits that because like it's just such a simple hook.
It is. It's catchy.
Yeah.
Catchy AF.
Catchy.
I hope
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, Lawrence, because I sent our last song to my mum and dad, and then even my dad was like, "That's a step up," and like you can't really. But if he can say that,
Joe's
you can't
mum and
play
dad
a
are big
note.
critics as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, are they? Yeah.
I think all the extended Pondarosa family are big critics. I think I remember your dad come to one of our gigs, and maybe the second time we'd seen us, and he was like, "Well, that was better than the first time."
Yeah. We've always strived for that Paul Aspin seal of approval.
Yeah.
The next tick. Like,
So what was the first gig you've done together? Obviously, you discussed having the band, didn't you, earlier? We were talking about it before and we went on to something else. How long was that period, the turnaround from when you said let's start a band to the first gig?
Quite a while, yeah. I think maybe about
About 9 months, maybe.
between
I
6 and
think
9
so,
months,
yeah.
I'd say, yeah.
It was in the crafting.
And we didn't even have a bassist, which is crazy. I'd love to hear that back now and be like,
I've still got
"That's
some
awful."
videos from it, I think.
Yeah,
Where was it?
the green room.
in
Yeah,
Sheffield.
Trams to tram lines
bright
it was.
green light, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it was this pub in Sheffield called Green Room. Have either of you been?
I've only been to Delaney.
I've never been to Sheffield.
I've never been to Sheffield.
He shoots, he scores.
Yeah,
I'd love one.
Is it like really sticky floors?
Yeah,
Just on a part.
It's same place. No.
yeah, and,
What's that? Dev Green, is it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
by the skate park, and it was like in this back room that I think they'd only opened recently,
Just done it, yeah.
or
We were
even
like the
that was the
second
first
gig,
gig.
wasn't
in
we
there.
the first one?
It was.
And it was this no windows in this back room of the pub, and it was like almost like concrete, like breeze block walls,
Yeah.
and they just had this like like the lighting was just all green, like not in sort of a like atmospheric way, like the fluorescent
Like the
green
Matrix.
of like
Yeah.
a disco spinner when it's just all green all the time. And I remember just being like,
Gone off
I can't see anything. Like I couldn't see anything when we because it was like dark,
Yeah.
green.
It's like playing to 20 Shreks in the audience.
But that is my memory of that gig. Just like it was just such a weird lighting system.
How was that? How was that gig?
I mean,
Nervous, yeah.
there was a lot of nerves because obviously it was our first gig, and I think we'd waited so long. We all
But
kind
we
of
knew we were ready though, because we
We knew-
waited
yeah.
so long. We spent
Thank you,
ages working on like about 5 or 6 tunes, and we'd play that set like back to front every night. We knew we were ready for it, but I think I had to take Mill around the side before and slap the music into it.
I was still thinking
You
I was
can
just
do
like, I
this.
could just not do this. I could just get off here. 5 minutes before, I was like,
He nearly did.
just stand in the crowd.
I was like the drill sergeant, like getting like, you are nothing.
What was you nervous about specifically?
I was like, why am I doing this? Why are we doing it? But I mean, it does go away definitely. Like as soon as you get going, like the adrenaline and things like that. But yeah, like thinking about for me personally, like certainly the first few that we did was like, oh shit, I don't know the words. There's a amount of times I've been to you, I was like, Lawrence, I actually don't know the words to any of the songs.
But what you
like,
did, all we needed was the first word of the
Oh, yeah,
first
yeah,
song, and then it
100%,
was like a recital of the entire.
same,
Yeah,
yeah.
as soon as you had
All
the
clicks into place,
first
yeah.
word, he's like, oh yeah, I know it now.
But
Yeah, you're a bit of a nightmare to be around. I remember like, honestly, like,
still am,
because
yeah.
like obviously you're like trying to remember the chords, whatever. He's coming to like, what's the first line? It's like, I don't know. Like,
Me going, what's
and
the
I was like,
words?
ask Gad, he'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, with obviously like you do snap out of it, but The first like few was not great.
The first few was
fun,
quite,
yeah.
because for me and him, we'd never been in a band before, but these two had been in a couple of bands in Sheffield.
Is that why you're like table between?
That's the difference.
The attention.
Playing live wasn't like a new experience for you two. Whereas
No.
me and Mill were a bit like, whoa.
Yeah.
Hang on, there's 6 people out there. Shit.
That's 2 more than us.
What if they storm us?
Boss, mate.
It was good though. Well, I remember the gig, like being on stage, but I don't remember how I felt or like anything. I just remember it happening and then being off stage and be like, oh wow, that was definitely like better than I thought we were gonna be, because we hadn't like been on stage before as a band, and you two hadn't been on before.
Yeah.
I was like, that was like well
Pretty
better.
sure the first thing that happened after we came off stage was Sock going, that actually wasn't shit.
Sounds like him.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there's a compliment.
So obviously, come from the first, what would you say collectively has been the best gig that you've done? Because it's a good thing about like all bands we've had on have either played in Liverpool, haven't really ventured, like usually like from different areas, and you like met in
played a
Manchester,
lot
so
in-
you played
Played a lot in Manchester, a few times in Liverpool, a few times in Sheffield. I think maybe
I'd say
Jimmy's.
Jimmy's,
Jimmy's
yeah.
was
I'd
good,
say
yeah.
Jimmy's was boss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
were
the
there,
best
weren't
you've sounded.
The
And
whole
sound guy had
room
it
was
right.
absolutely
Bouncing.
going on.
Yeah.
When we
Because
played
it's long
Hot
and
Stuff.
thin, isn't it? Like long and thin rooms are so much better to play in rather than wide.
Wider.
It feels
Yeah.
way fuller.
R.I.P. Jimmy's, by the way.
Can you confirm this, Jacob? The sound guy?
From a performer's point of view.
Yeah.
Jacob loves our loft because no walls are parallel, are they? Because you've been in the loft, have you seen the loft?
Yeah,
Yeah, so because
yeah.
no walls are parallel, the acoustics are great, aren't they, Jacob? So he says. I wouldn't know, do you know what I mean?
Great, there's not shit.
Fucking hell. Shady.
Another backhander.
Yeah. You know, you're not coming back to loft, Jacob.
It's better than your average loft.
Yeah, it's better than your average loft, isn't it?
Hey, do you like my new ceiling panels?
I do, mate, yeah. Did you notice then? Like, did you notice recording, like, something's got to change?
Massive difference,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the layman, though, would it? Or just you?
Probably would, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's more noticeable when there's like loads of people here.
To the layman.
To the layman.
Nice.
Right, anyway, to the bullshit podcast again.
This guy with his agenda. I thought we were having a bevy with our mates, asking him about the band, and he's like, so, anyway, politics.
I know we're doing the podcast.
Funny, yeah, fucking hell.
Think what's this?
Looking at his watch.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I've got 15 questions.
Get that timer on, Jack.
Yeah. And we've got a game of Craig or Ray Charles together. So go on, Jake, get the agenda out. Fucking hell. I feel like I've been told off here.
I never got the itinerary. Did you not send me to?
I did send it out via memo.
Via Teams.
I put the memo on the kitchen counter saying forgot, and then the full itinerary. Did you not get it?
Nah. FAO God.
We do need a whiteboard in the house though for shit like that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not sorting our house out now. We're having an interview.
Welcome to the Arlington podcast.
So anyway, Jake, the way you leave your shoes.
Yeah. That tray under the table. Get him.
Oh, it's fun living together though.
It is.
I can't believe you haven't lived together as a foursome. Like that must.
We spent a hell of a lot
we
of
spent a
time
brief
together
time
in
living
respective
together.
I lived
houses.
with Mill for a month. I
can't
think.
remember when
I was
Before
that-
Gad moved in, actually. Yeah, when Gad came,
Yeah.
I left.
He lived in my house before I even got there.
Yeah.
Cavendish
I can't remember
Road,
why.
was it? Just
No,
off the. Yeah.
No, oh, were you in ours?
Oh,
In-
hang
No,
on.
we
Yeah,
lived
you-
at each
yeah,
other's
yeah,
houses.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you spent a lot of time like
Wait, when did you live at mine?
sleepovers?
Yeah,
when we moved in-
I mean,
Oh, in Brocklebank.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that house.
I've
Oh,
stayed at Mill's house when I first moved because
Was that
can't remember when,
Brocklebank as well?
no, that was the one just off
Ashford.
Ashford,
Ashford,
You
yeah,
used-
great house.
Oh, no. You used to keep an ours a lot when
Yeah.
we were in Victoria.
and then I did stay at yours a lot.
when you were
I
working in the Met.
Ah.
I had
Right, yeah,
like
yeah.
2 hospitality jobs, both sort of near these guys' house. So I would
At once.
yeah, well, yeah, like
Hats off to you there, bro. One's enough.
it wasn't very impressive. I was
It
just
nearly
like,
broke
yeah.
him, honestly.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call rock and roll.
But I would end up staying at their house. Like I'd finish a shift on a Saturday because then I'd have one Sunday morning. It was just easy for me to stay there, then go home and then cycle back.
So are you mates from Sheffield anyway? Yeah.
Yeah, we all three went to school together.
Did you?
I've known Mill since
Literally like 2 years old. Yeah.
You two
can't get rid
literally
of
live like round the corner from each other.
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah, like stones throw away from each other. So yeah,
Love that.
yeah, nice.
That's a belter.
It's great that. So
Girls got time for that. Yeah, that's great. That's so anyway. Back to the podcast.
Yeah,
back to the
moving
music.
on.
Like, you know what it is? Jay's got a lot that he wants to get through, haven't you? I can tell.
He's eager.
He's eager.
I'm eager.
yeah.
I'm eager. Do you know what
He's
I mean?
interviewing you.
Like, I'd love to go off on tangents all day, but we've got time limits, and we've got Ray Charles or Craig Charles to play. You know what I
Easy
mean?
views to say.
So yeah, going back to your gigs, actually, the one thing you mentioned was the actual covers.
Mm.
And I love the covers.
Yeah.
I'm gutted to miss One Kiss. I'm absolutely gutted to miss
Yeah.
that.
Scout's
Yeah.
anthem that as well now, isn't
Never
it?
seen us do it.
Nah, I never seen you
Oh,
do
But
One
we've
Kiss.
done it.
I
And
was gonna say we
Done it at
did
least
Yeah.
3 times.
did it in
Actually, I
Wigan.
must have seen you do it once.
I
I thought
don't
you'd
know.
done it once.
No,
Night
you
and
were
day,
meant to
you
come
were
to our gig night and day, but you
I
and
meant to go to the beach
JJ,
party, weren't
yeah,
we?
you and
I
JJ
remember.
weren't in any fit state to be getting on public transport.
Yeah.
We were like
Say no more.
we were like a minute away from going on stage, and he rings me. He's like, "So I think we're gonna make it." You know?
Funny that. What was that pub called that I seen you in Manchester?
It's not the Delaney.
The
Not the Delaney. What's it called?
the Eagle.
The Eagle.
Which one? Oh right, I thought you meant Star and Garter.
Because who's that pin? I got my tote bag out, didn't I? And I had a pin, and you was like, I'm sure they supported us. What was the band? Name that band.
Paper Boys
I think it
or
was.
Carousel
yeah.
Clouds.
Yeah.
One of
the
them.
Brummy band, was it?
The
Yeah.
girl on the door just gave me a pin.
The
It's on my
guys
back
from
now.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Paper
Paper
Boys. Yeah, they were sound. Then.
Yeah,
That pub was a cool venue though.
it was.
Yeah, it's cool.
Was that the one that was like two,
Yeah.
like the almost like a
It was
balcony?
like a balcony.
yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I remember
boss.
being on stage and like it took me back seeing people like way above my head. I was kind of like,
Yeah.
That was
felt
probably-
like Robot was, didn't it?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like the way it used to be
Craig
turned
Charles.
up. That was very Craig Charles. I felt like Craig Charles. But
So have you been to that venue before? Is that like a venue for up and coming bands?
It's
in
a good
Manchester?
venue on the
Yeah.
circuit
Is
in
it on the
Manchester.
circuit?
Yeah.
I was there when Visa went down. Do you remember?
oh, that is
Yeah.
niche.
You remember?
That is niche. I remember it only because it was like big news for you.
Everyone's like scrambling around for cash. But yeah,
How long was it? How long did Visa
Oh,
go
yeah,
down
I
when it
do
went
remember.
worldwide?
Yeah,
when it
Down
went-
all night, wasn't it?
like yeah, for at least like 4
Visa going
hours.
down like Visa, man.
Yeah.
That's everything Visa. Isn't it? Wow.
So these silences I'm trying to get through.
Subtlety
Obviously,
is not
you've
your
both
strong
been
point.
involved in sort of Liverpool and Manchester scene. What would you see the main differences and similarities between the two,
Anyway.
really, and the sort of gigs that you've played there as well?
Feels to me anyway. I don't know if it's just because I have more of a foot in the Liverpool scene. It feels like there's more of a
Do ya?
community. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I'd say I'm mates with more bands that we know from the Liverpool scene than bands we know from the Manchester scene.
You said to me though, I remember asking you about this because you're from Liverpool, you're from Sheffield, but you're formed in Manchester, and I remember asking you, but I can't remember the answer. What would you say? Where would you say you're from?
It's
Like,
like
how
as
do
a like the band where the band is from. It's honestly like
The M62.
oh, she could be a cool mistress.
Oh, she can be. She can be cool.
Now, I
be
put on
kind
our
as well,
bio
yeah.
like that we're based in Liverpool and Manchester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're a northern band.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Going back to that question though, I think like obviously you've got to be careful what you say, but I feel like the Manchester scene can be a little bit more like
Cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why
Because
that
there's so
is.
many more
Yeah.
bands because it's a much bigger city.
Compared to Liverpool.
Yeah, everyone's like sort of hell bent on it's Manchester, you've got to like make it. Do you know what I mean? And it's the city for it. But from what I can like gather down here, it's like you say, much more of a community. Like things are nicer, like trying to help each other out. And things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Building each other up. Whereas the bands in Manchester, again, obviously not to like badmouth anyone, but like it's very much like you're there for yourself and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we do
It's as
have
simple as it is,
some good friends in
Yeah,
Manchester scene.
yeah, and certainly like Greater Manchester and things like that. Obviously, Lynch's. We'll have to shout the boys out there. So
Plato.
Plato, yeah, indeed.
Who was the one you played with in? I can't remember what the gaffer's called now. And they work with Matt. Clear Green.
Clear Green,
Clear
yeah.
Green. They're very good.
Green,
Clear
yeah.
Green.
Yeah, they're cool guys.
Yeah.
That cover, the Georgia Smith one.
yeah, Blue Lights.
Yeah.
That was really
I'm a
good.
sucker for a good cover,
Yeah.
especially when it's something you don't expect.
Oh, stay
For-
tuned.
For northern lads to be playing like a Georgia Smith tune.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when they done that, I was a bit like, yeah, that's a heavy choice.
Respect
that.
it.
The ultimate cover though, isn't it? It's like, whoa, like you've made
A
that
cover,
tune,
the
like,
idea of a
acceptable.
cover is making it your own, innit?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So usually the studio where you record with Matt, is that where Blossoms record? Or is that a different studio?
No, we used to rehearse at Viaduct Studios in Stockport.
Yeah, love that.
And that was, yeah.
They had
their room,
like
yeah.
their own sort of room that they. I don't know if they did record there, didn't they, as well?
They used to do their demos and stuff there.
Yeah, so it was like a practice room / sort of base, because I remember we were practicing one time and they just loaded all their stuff in from like they'd been on
Got off the bus.
They'd been on a tour bus
Been
somewhere,
been
just
playing-
rock
been
stuff
They
on.
beat the Hungry
Yeah.
or something you said, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah,
All the
that was
time.
it.
Well, we were meant to be locking up because Paul Bow, shout out Paul Bow, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh
big
my
time,
god!
yeah.
It's like,
man.
yeah, no one else is coming in tonight. Lock it up, got the keys, and then just load the banging outside. Just Blossom still outside with a load of suitcases. We were like, get in here then.
Come on then.
And that's why the Blossoms gig in Sheffield Park, I was front line like, remember me? He went really, just me.
What a gig that was, though.
It was
That
great.
was excellent. That.
really
More to
good.
come.
Plenty more, plenty in the tank.
So anyway, back to the interview. Oh,
Oh, you two.
oh, what are we like? Hey, we should host a podcast, shouldn't we?
You should live together.
And we spend a lot of time together, you and I, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Work together, sleep together.
Shower together.
Yeah, well, me bed does with him.
Yeah, we do a lot together. Like, it's good though.
Anyway, yeah, so.
This is our podcast.
Any questions for us, Kat?
Yeah, go on. Go on. Ask us a question, guys.
What's been your favourite episode of the podcast?
This one.
Don't say it too
Why?
quick. 'Cause
I'm only messing. Do you know what? I don't know, mate. They're all different for different reasons.
I always say the man PT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. Yeah,
Loads of people
Yeah,
say
you
that
were
one.
talking about that one.
Jay,
a lot, yeah.
Jay had to go and lie down in Sefton Park and just take all the information in. On his
Think
way
about
up.
life.
He was just like,
Thinking about life, I was like, whoa.
three. It was our second guest. Because I know Phil and I knew what he was going to bring to the table, I was ready for it. So it blew me away, of course. He always does. Any conversation with him is great. But Jay had never had a conversation with him. So Jay was just like, whoa. And then after it, he was like, you rode home, didn't you, that night in your bike and that? That was a boss episode. But I love, like, what's been the most unexpected episode? That was like,
I reckon Beck.
yeah.
Beck was a good one of them.
Beck was a good one because she's a yoga teacher and she's like a feminine healer and stuff.
Yeah.
And we just didn't talk about yoga, did we? We were just having a laugh all day.
She's like, a fucking hell, come here for me work. We talked about it once.
That's the beauty of it, though.
And she was like, oh, by the way, I do yoga if anyone wants yoga. So that was probably one of my favourites.
The rest was good because we all just got pissed. Didn't we?
Yeah, we got pissed for Scotty Press. It was by Crimbo, yeah.
I obviously, you know, from a music point of view, I like watching the ones with musicians on just for like the differences in performances.
Yeah. And just like opinions on stuff really as well. It's nice, isn't it? Like, you might say something about like a venue and then somebody else has a different idea about it or a story about
Yeah.
it. Fun enough, we've discussed this, a funny story with you. It was a Cafe Totem when you were doing the sound check.
Oh my god, we got absolutely eviscerated by this guy.
we just did this sound check, and we started the sound check, and then he told me to do something on my amp because it was sounding shit, and then did he stop us again or he let us play through?
I think we got about a verse into Sooner or Later. And he was like going like this, all these gestures and stuff. And he comes on the thing and he goes, drummer, what the fuck was that? You're not playing Glastonbury. And I was like, all right, sorry. And he was like, you're gonna have to hit much softer than that. And I was like, all right. And then he went through.
playing Glastonbury.
He went through each of us and just took us to bits. Literally, just took our pants down right there and then.
We were on stage. You never like. It's weird being stood on stage with your instrument round your neck as someone just tells you how shit you are. And you're just like, all right. And then in Cafe Totem, there's like it's in the basement and there's like a flight of stairs that leads you down to where we played the gig. And I could see all our mates queuing up to come in as we're getting like our pants pulled down. The sound, and people like waving. I'm like, yeah.
He went through us all individually, and then I think he got to Mill and just went, "What was that?"
Just felt like
What was his beef like?
inconvenienced him. I just felt like
I
wanted
feel
to
like
go home,
it
yeah.
was tough love because you better believe as soon as we got on stage, I was literally like. I was like a little monkey with a toy drum set, just like barely even hitting it.
You know, from my standpoint personally, I know what he told me was good advice, but he just delivered it in such a mad way. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
If he's watching, nice one, because it was a good gig. In the end.
But we've all quit music now.
Yeah, that was our last gig, mate. Nice one.
There's a way to speak to people, though, isn't there, about certain things?
Yeah, it was weird. That.
It was, it was definitely strong. And I think there's other people, other bands maybe who'd been like, that would have been horrendous to speak to them like that. But I mean, you know,
Take it on the chin in there.
I'm pretty sure we were up in the green room before the gig, and there was a load of beers in there, and we were all getting changed, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to play this one. I'm sitting this one out.
It does bring you together a bit, though, when there's something like that.
Yeah, adversity.
To share the
You're
experience.
like, no, God, hit him harder.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, you were shit, but do you know what? We're all shit.
Yeah.
It's mad to think that the last actual gig I went to was your gig in
Phase 1.
Phase
No
1
way.
with-
Wow.
What?
Oh, yeah.
No, I was like, no way.
You went to Blossom. No way, you like.
No, I was doing it for the list. Like, no way.
No way, man.
A bit of like a laughing track in the back. Like, no way.
So I know is there any gigs on the horizon you can tell us about? Is there anything? What's to come? Tell me what's to come from Pondarosa.
Well, we can obviously talk about
Confirm.
a gig at the Arts Club with friends of the Minerva Podcast, the
Yeah.
Cheap Thrills.
Go back and watch episode. One of the episodes.
5, I think it was, or
Was
6.
it? Yeah.
Episode 1 of the episodes.
Yeah, episode. Have a look on our YouTube
Episode
channel.
1 to 30, in between there somewhere.
Yeah, obviously it goes without saying that we are pretty excited for
I
that
can't
one.
wait for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to play with the Cheap Thrills, obviously
In the Arts Club.
in the Arts Club, yeah, it's
I've
like
used 3B in the Arts Club before.
No.
No, it's
As a
big,
Scouser,
isn't
mate.
it?
That's
It's-
where we met.
Yeah, we met in there, and it's like,
That's a lot of our generation.
so Circus started there, and if you obviously
the best thing about the Arts Club is if you liked indie music when you were growing up, you
Yeah,
had
that was the
memories from
place,
there.
yeah.
And if you like dance music, you also had memories from there.
The-
And if you were a versatile, you were going to both.
Exactly. And it's got like it shaped a lot of people of our generation.
I'd say I wouldn't like the music I did if it weren't for that venue. Do you know what I mean? So
Oh,
like,
mate.
Wow.
to watch your mates.
I'd be
in
like
there.
a proud dad when you were playing there. You know, honestly.
to see used energy thrills. All of our mates are going to be there. It'll just be.
I can't wait to just see the Cheap Thrills at the Arts Club as well. Like,
yeah.
just like as a fan of like music to see that gig, because there's no reason. I just want to see it. Basically, that's
If
that's
Terry's
it.
going to be anything
Yeah.
like he was at the Blossoms gig, it's going to be a good night.
He's the
Also-
happiest guy in Terry
Also,
Power.
shout out Jags as well.
Yeah,
Shout out
Jags,
to
yeah,
Jags, yeah.
Jags are unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, but
Dreams.
obviously as well, if
What'd you say?
Cathedral Dreams.
Yes.
we've got, I've heard there's plans of new singles on the way soon. Can you say much about it at the minute? Or?
No.
No comments.
We're planning to go back with Mr. Matt Heath. Shout out Matt Heath.
So what's his studio
greatest
called, Matt, as
producer in the
well?
land.
Suff Studio.
Suff
Studio,
Studios.
and that is in Bairn, is it?
Colin.
Colin, sorry, yeah.
And
It's Burnley though.
Burnley. And we can edit this out, but is there something going on that I heard on a phone call before with you and one of our pals? I was on the phone to him. You may be doing something.
Oh yeah.
Can we
Potential
discuss?
remix
A remix,
of Sunbeams. Yeah. If you're watching, Nathan. No, I'm messing.
Who's done our beat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're discussing a good little remix.
Yeah.
Maybe something nice and housey.
Yeah.
Tropical.
So, tropical. So J Mac can play it in the loft.
Loft sessions.
Yeah. Le Chambre sessions.
Yeah, so anyway, tickets available now for the Arts Club gig. Saturday, 9th of October.
I'm excited, man.
I'm excited, you know, and the paper tickets available. Even message us for tickets.
Yeah.
Hopefully getting a bit of
Paper
commission,
tickets
so.
available in my top drawer.
I seen Louis Pike on Saturday and Callum and Fitz as well. His name is Callum. But I seen them there talking to him. I was like, have I bought a ticket for that gig? He was like, lad, I don't know, you know. He was like, I'll have to get back to you on that because
Buy it up.
Wait there.
keep buying it.
Yeah.
No, because that people bought them and then because it was that long ago and stuff. Like,
Yeah, we're sorting out what to do
you're
with
just
the
sorting
tickets.
out in the
Yeah,
process.
it's,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
it's
I
up in the
bought
air
a
at the minute.
ticket. But in terms of the topic of the week, then, so we were going to ask a question, a silly question. But this is not a silly question that we're going to ask.
We were discussing it off camera, like
Yeah.
a game they played when they were at garden party in Leeds. Was it garden party? Was it?
So yeah, it was the origins of it are in Leeds. I can't remember the exact location or date or person, but It was
Or
in a,
year.
it was in a, all year. It
But
was in a
you can
house.
confirm it's a thing.
It exists.
It
It's a thing
exists.
that
That's
exists.
all
yeah.
I know is this thing exists. Yeah.
And then we played at garden party or after garden party with
Before
you.
Jordan and after, I think it was.
Yeah, it's just,
Pretty sure we were playing it on the coach on the way.
I showed Gad in.
I'm going to be playing it forever now.
Yeah, now we've shown you two. Now it's on the podcast.
He told me a game you play where it's like someone says like a mad phrase and you're like, who sang it? And
Oh,
you've got to pick
yeah,
the article.
yeah,
So that's a
yeah,
good one,
yeah.
Yeah.
But the game is Craig Charles or Ray Charles.
For those who don't know, who are Craig Charles and Ray Charles? Because there may be people watching.
Wow.
It's like, who are
So
those
Craig
people?
Charles was the one who done Robot Wars, Red
Corrie.
Dwarf, Corrie,
Yeah.
Lloyd,
Lloyd of Corrie.
Lloyd of Corrie.
And he's a fantastic DJ as
Reads it
well.
on Radio
Yeah.
6, catch him there, shouts out.
Catch him at Camp and Finish soon.
And Ray Charles was, wow, what a guy.
Legendary pianist.
Yes.
Blind
Legendary
pianist.
Sorry, cut that off.
Blind pianist,
Yeah,
wasn't he? He was
yeah.
a blind pianist, yeah.
I heard this guy was a pro, Jacob.
I know.
Making penis jokes on the Minerva podcast.
And we're playing a serious game
Yeah,
with
we're
Craig
playing-
Charles or Ray Charles.
Really, yeah.
And he's
Fucking
making penis
chewing the
jokes.
fat of the
We're
issues
having-
that matter. And you're there making toilet humour.
Yeah, we're making the
What does it say,
145th
pianist?
edition of Ray Charles or Craig Charles.
So what's the first question then? Jack, one. You got a lot to say. Come
It's
on.
all, by the way, just to explain the premise of the game, there's no right answer. You just come
It's
up with a
your
question
justification.
and you have to justify whether the answer is Ray Charles or Craig Charles. There's no
Okay.
right answer. It's just how funny your
So
reason
should we
is.
use the example we said before?
Yeah.
So was it you who asked who had date, or someone said,
I said,
I'm impressed.
who has dirtier fingernails?
and I said
Craig Charles or Craig Charles?
And I said Craig Charles because he'd smoked weed, so he'd be rolling joints. And Ray Charles being the pianist, he'd have a hand physio.
Someone's looking after Ray Charles.
Someone's looking after Ray Charles' hands. Do you know what I mean? Craig
Yeah.
Charles
Could
there,
be
like I
insured.
reckon.
Could be insured.
Should be
His
insured.
hands probably were insured.
Yeah.
Craig Charles touching robots and that.
Yeah,
Do you know
all
what I mean?
Touching robots, who sang it?
That's talking heads.
Who's the other? Oh,
OMD.
no.
Kraftwerk.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah, that's a good
Touching
one.
robots, man.
Kraftwerk did have a tune called The Robots, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they might have done, yeah.
So who do you reckon's longer in the shower?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to go for Craig on that one. There's no basis behind it.
I reckon
It's an
Ray's just in and
instinct.
out. It's a tough room for him, that one.
I reckon Ray, I think it's Ray Charles because he likes to mess around.
That's amazing. That can get the laugh in, doesn't it?
I'm glad you got that, you know. In my head, I was thinking, is that Ray Charles?
I'm not 100% now you said it, but I laughed
but,
at
yeah,
it.
like, but you knew what I meant. didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Who
yeah.
spends longer at the doctors, Ray Charles or Craig Charles?
Oh, lad,
Ray
they both got a long list of reasons to be there.
I think Ray
reckon.
Charles. Personally.
Really?
Ray Charles
Why?
has got a tune called I Don't Need No Doctor.
Yeah.
He's got
Craig Charles
He's
doesn't
got
go to the doctors, I reckon.
Oh,
he's got a few more ailments than Craig probably.
I don't think
know,
Craig
I
Charles
don't
has
know.
signed up to a GP, mate. I'd be surprised if he
I
was.
don't think he's allowed to.
I think Craig Charles is the type of guy who's like, if you like
Craig, if you're watching, I'm sure you have been the doctor's meeting.
We'll ask him if he's on next week. Yeah,
I
I
reckon if Craig done his ankle in, he'd be like, fucking Abbey sound.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm playing on Saturday, do you know what I mean?
He's got a robot for that.
Yeah.
Whereas Ray Charles might be a bit more courteous, like, you know what, maybe we should go and get my ankle seen too here, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who do you
Yeah.
think would have the maddest story? Like, if you ask them both their best story,
I honestly
who do you
don't
think
know.
would be
I don't
better?
I
know.
think
you know.
Craig.
You think Craig?
I reckon Craig Charles doesn't realise his
Craig,
stories
by
are that mad,
virtue of
'cause
being
it's-
scouse, probably.
Yeah.
I reckon I could relate to it more in a way.
Yeah.
But Ray, you know what, Ray Charles have probably met like madder people.
Yeah, like
yeah.
And he's like, I was in
Well,
this
he was
ho-
in- he
I
was
was
in-
in this hotel room with Frank Sinatra or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
put it this way, he was in the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, he's got some stories
Yeah,
from that.
exactly.
yeah.
I don't think that was a sober set.
Is Ray Charles is definitely more famous than Craig Charles as well. isn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he's definitely got more stories.
Undoubtedly, yeah.
He was winning a fight.
Well, Craig's got like Sergeant Bash. Bringing the fleet.
Summon the house robot.
Yeah, he just comes down with a fan.
What was that?
They would get
what was that
fed
one? Like Sick Kill a Lot?
So kill a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was evil.
Yeah.
Who
they're
would
all
get
bad.
further
Yeah,
on Takeshi's castle?
Oh, Craig knows the course.
But did you know, Jay told me more people have been to the moon than one Takeshi's castle? Yeah.
That's right. We were watching Takeshi's
Yeah,
Castle
I
during
understand.
lockdown,
Wow.
and it's just his narration. It was like the smallest little petite woman fell right head first into the stepping stones, and he just goes, Oh, look at that, right in the drink. Have a bit of compassion, Craig.
But sure, if you win Takeshi's Castle, surely you should be able to go to the moon. Like, you're basically a space
Yeah.
cadet at that point.
Maybe that's why it's so hard to win, because the prize is
You get to go to the moon.
you and General Lee are going right up there.
You, Craig, and Ray Charles to the moon. Who's more likely to go to the moon out of them two?
Oh wow.
Craig's
think-
been. I don't know if it's the I don't know if it's the physical one, but he's
He might
been.
have been on green screen, but he's definitely
Yeah, Craig has been to the moon.
I would have said Ray. I think they would have like
if together.
I reckon his music's maybe been played in space.
maybe that, and just maybe like I just don't see a way for Craig to get onto a space, like an actual space.
Wait till you see this program. I'm going to show you that. It's called Red Dwarf, right?
I wasn't even thinking that. I wasn't even thinking.
Walked into that one.
Oh.
You set yourself up there.
I hope my dad doesn't listen to this because he'd be so
Big
devastated.
Red Dwarf
Oh, he loves it. He loves that show. He'd be devastated.
Sorry.
That was a good round.
That was
Craig
a good
Charles,
game.
Ray
That.
Charles.
I
Yeah,
reckon
yeah.
that we should make that the game. You know what I mean? Just come back with all that every week.
Copyright Pondarosa 2021.
That's a good
Pondarosa TM.
game. I love that.
Did Ray Charles win any? Who's better at piano?
Probably Ray Charles.
Probably.
Yeah.
I reckon Craig, you know.
No.
Who would get a bigger crowd? I'm not going to say Glasgow.
Ray Charles.
Yeah, I know that.
Nah,
But
Craig Charles plays heavy set. for
yeah, he
Glasgow.
does. And I seen a video of him in some like.
Is Ray Charles alive?
I don't think so. I'm almost certain he's
Google it.
not.
We've had a look at it.
We'll
I
never
think he's
know.
dead, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to stick my neck on that.
Definitely won't be going to the doctor now.
Yeah, he won't be.
Really got it in for him tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Ray.
No, he's alive.
No.
Doesn't say death on his Wikipedia.
How old is he?
We must be alive.
Oh yeah, he died 10th of June 2004 in Beverly Hills.
2004, right.
Worst places to die, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There is
Yeah,
worse
come-
places to
when
die,
Craig
right?
Charles goes, where's your gonna say like died? Toxic.
Where's
Kensington.
on, on the moon. Where is he actually from? Where's he from?
Probably Taki.
I think he's from Stocky, yeah.
Is he? Yeah.
He's
Band-
from
band
there
on the
about that
wall.
way. Like,
Hands on the wall.
Do you think that was lower him into the pit?
this is all getting cut off this point. Every last
Wars.
bit of it.
niche?
Let's see. Where
Like
Craig
a funeral pyre with to kill.
The robots are just taking him down, just dropping him.
When the robots take over, Craig will be narrating it all. Won't he?
When the robots take over, he'll be faced against the wall.
early life.
He could have been narrating it all.
Hey,
and they've taken over the BBC.
Jonathan Pierce does the commentary.
He's from Canny Farm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Shout out Stockbridge Village.
Hashtag rebrand.
Yeah, yeah.
Boss, any more questions here? Because I'm enjoying this.
Jacob, any Craig Charles, Ray Charles questions?
No, but I did meet Ray Charles.
Whoa.
Get that one quiet.
He had that serious look on his
This
face.
guy,
I was
no,
about to
honestly,
go,
man, he's met Nile Rodgers.
believe that?
He's met Nile Rodgers, Paul McCartney. He's done
He
all.
was like, it was so casual. He's like, yeah, met Paul McCartney. We're like, yeah, he was like, yeah, shook his hand. He's like,
yeah, but Sean and Elle had Nile Rodgers on FaceTime.
FaceTimed him after the Champions League semi-final. He picked up.
What?
Nah,
What?
right. Our mates were they were in
Rome,
Rome for the
yeah.
Champions League semis, and some Nile Rodgers had accidentally left his
Oh, he
number up
tweeted it,
on
yeah,
Twitter.
yeah.
Yeah.
For like
And
a second. And
I think I remember that,
they
yeah.
Elle
straight away
saved it,
screenshotted it,
and
yeah.
they were all in a gaff, obviously up to all kinds. You know, we just got it was the Kiev year,
Yeah.
so we just got to the final, and they were all back in this gaff. Must have been about 5 a.m, and Elle was like, "Let's FaceTime Nile Rodgers," and he just answered. He literally just picked up, and he was like, "Hey
spoke to him for,
guys."
like a little bit of time was like dead sound by all accounts. Yeah.
how long were they on with them?
He was like, "Oh, please don't ring me again." But
I swear he was like,
dead
"Hope you
sound,
win in the final."
I hope you guys win the final.
Yeah. Wow.
Madness, that.
He's got very soft hands, you know, now.
Have you met him?
I came
Who's
out.
got, who's got soft
They're the
hands?
money makers then for Nile Rodgers.
Have you met anyone like Martis? Anyone like proper, not proper?
Craig and Ray
famous,
Charles.
I don't know if I've met anyone
I've not met anyone that
famous,
much.
to be honest.
No, not
Mourinho.
Oh yeah. You ended up on like, is it Joe? What's the
Oh yeah,
account
that
called?
football Joe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
us on there. There's on their Instagram. I was scrolling through, and it's just on like the front page, it's just a picture of me, Rollo, Cal, and Mourinho.
So explain to the viewers.
So for some context, we were in London. We went to watch Blair in Hyde Park. We stayed in a hostel in Kensington, and we were like, all right, what are we going to do here? We've got ages before our coach. We were like, right, we'll go for some brekkie and then just go for a walk by the river. And our plan was to go up, come through Sloane Square and up towards Victoria.
Yeah.
And so we've just been walking down the river for ages. And we're like coming up by Sloane Square. And Cal just goes, hey, there's Mourinho. And I was laughing. And then we were like, nah, that's actually Mourinho. And yeah, he was in all his Chelsea clobber. We were like, right, it's now or never. We're going to ask for a picture. Got a picture and we were like, hey, Jose. You could tell he was hating every second of it. And as soon as we got the picture, he was like, is it done? We were like, yeah, and he just walks off.
Wow.
But yeah,
So what was it on the front page of, or what was?
On Football Joe's Instagram, and it had like, I swear it had like 200,000 likes or something. Some picture of me and Mourinho.
Someone
I
comments
remember
like, is
seeing
that
that
Mourinho
picture,
with
and
gas?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that picture and I just couldn't piece it together. And I think you'd sent me it and no one was replying. I was like, someone needs to explain this to me. Like, so many questions.
Someone thought it was edited. They was like, what? How did you edit that picture of Mourinho and views? I was like, nah, that's real, that.
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah.
Mad.
You went watching Blur with you afterwards as well?
Yeah.
I've already mentioned on the podcast before, but the maddest person I've met, most random, and like, so we went. I don't know if you know this, but I'm making it a bit short. I was in London. By London, we stayed in this place called like the Shack. It was like a big log cabin in a way, basically. And we were sat there. There was a knock on the door, and it was Tracy off Corrie.
Oh wow.
Tracy off Corrie, and she just
With Mourinho.
Mad.
That was the first time I ever played Craig Charles or Ray Charles that night.
she knows well that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's got all the goss.
Yeah. She's like, oh no, Craig wouldn't do that. it's not the Lloyd I know.
I remember being stood outside. I was walking past the Printworks in Manny, and I heard someone on the phone ringing up. There's a taxi firm in Manchester called Streetcars, and the one in Corrie.
Oh, is that actually one?
Yeah. And I heard
real
someone
thing.
ringing up.
Hello,
I'm like,
Streetcars.
Yeah. Can I get a taxi, please? And I knew they were on the phone to Streetcars because I just heard them going, I want Lloyd to come and pick me up.
It's funny that.
I was going to say something. I can't even remember what it was.
Oh, it's fucking you've changed.
Didn't you see Ryan Giggs in Manchester?
Oh, when we were doing a
when
band
we
photo
were
shoot, we saw
shouting
Giggsy.
like, you fucking wanker.
He is a twat, and
He was. We were walking through a little park in the city centre of Manchester. I forget what it's called.
I don't think it's even there. It was just a figment of our imagination.
It's
It's like St. James's Park.
James Park or something like that. It's literally in the middle of It's Manchester City Centre. It's a tiny
It's off
park.
Deansgate, isn't it?
And we
Did
just
you
do
live near Ann
photos.
Coates?
No, well,
Jeffrey did.
we lived yeah,
Famously.
Um,
Shout out Jeffrey Ancoats.
he doesn't deserve a shout out. That we lived the other side of town, so we lived like Salford sort of way when we lived in town.
Okay.
But yeah, we were just doing a band photo shoot in this park, and Ryan Giggs walked past, and he was walking with sort of a young, attractive
What I can
woman,
only assume was someone else's
else's
missus.
wife, probably.
Why would you assume that?
He has got previous.
Yeah, he has got-
If you're watching, Ryan,
He's coming on next week.
Him and Craig.
him and Rodri. Ryan Giggs or Rodri Giggs?
That's the brilliant thing about the Craig Charles, Ray Charles format. You can just
flexible, yeah.
like morph it into two other names.
We thought of another good one. And I can't for the
honestly,
life
that's
of
like
me remember.
lost whatever it was, because it was like we did play it for ages. We can't remember a single thing we said. Can't remember the two people. It's just gone.
Yeah.
Sounds like you were inebriated there.
Yeah.
Quite
choice
possibly.
Good choice of words.
Yeah.
Inebriated. Someone said that the other week after Blossom. She's like, oh, sorry, mate. He was telling us how much you love the podcast. What was his name, Matt? Was it Tom? I think it was.
Oh, it was Tom, yeah.
He
Number
was-
one fan.
He was
Shout
like,
out Tom.
Shout out Tom. He was like, oh, I love the podcast. And obviously, we get that all the time. But like, people tell us they like the podcast, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they all like the band. But like, he kept
What
going
podcast?
on. Kept saying how much you love the band. The band. Kept saying how much you love the podcast. And eventually I was like, this guy loves the podcast. You know, I was like, thank you, mate, so much. And he was telling me about every episode and stuff. And then he was like, do you know what, mate? Sorry, I'm a bit inebriated here. And I was like, I haven't heard that word for a while. I'm going to use it again. But it's always nice when like someone who you didn't know was into it, isn't it? Comes up and says like,
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Do you know who loves the podcast, JJ?
Oh, yeah. Shout out
When are you
JG.
going on the podcast, bro? So the podcast is bare funny.
Your JG is killer. Like, JG needs to get famous so you can get famous doing an impression of
on
him.
the telly with what's it called, Max Rushton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Come
the
on, fuck it
first
out.
game at Spurs' new ground, and Max Rushton was interviewing him. And when he gets pissed, he goes
Yeah, he was
red
brilliant.
as anything. Gets called strawberry lace.
Yeah.
Sorry, JJ. He's like near the front row, and they're like, "Oh, you know, what's it like to be back in the ground?" And he's like, "Fucking pass it, mate. Feels like home. Feels like home." Apparently, they had to cut it like 4 times because he kept swearing. He was like, "I'm fucking pass it." Straight from work.
On that note, we'll go on to the coaching corner then and discuss. Let's have a minute there. Creativity. I know you did say before, what's that?
Alien concept.
So I'm just interested because obviously we're all creative people, everyone in this room.
And Jay.
That's a long one.
Oh, come on, now.
Bolt on the door for you tonight.
Yeah. Classic The Boys and Waco scenario.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll be playing with me flip flops all night.
Nah, yeah. Everyone in this.
I don't want to know.
You don't.
No, he was playing. No.
Personal joke. We'll leave it at that.
No. Doesn't translate well.
Yeah, I'm going to start this whole section again, so if you want to say something, that's me, I'll say it now.
Welcome to Coaching Corner.
So welcome to the coaching corner this. Yeah,
You
this
here with
week,
Jack Rhodes?
Jay McDougal.
Come on. Come on.
Last
Give me
week-
the comments.
Last week he was asking all sorts of questions like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I was like, fuck, he's not the coaching. It's been spending too much time with me, haven't you, Jay?
Yeah. But anyway, the coaching corner this week, because Jack's going off on tangents again, is the creativity.
This guy with Mr. Itinerary, yeah. Jay Mac Agenda.
J Memorandum.
So we want to discuss creativity because we're all creative. Everyone has a different approach to creativity, a different way of managing being creative. Because I know we've had conversations about it when you just sometimes you want to switch off and stuff. How do you approach being creative?
Wow.
Good question.
It comes to
Do
me
it
naturally.
at like 2 a.m.
I
you
quite
should
like
be doing
late
something else,
creativity.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. When I get locked in on something and I'm liking an idea I'm working on, I can work on that
in flow.
all day.
You can work
know
on
what
it
I
for
mean?
hours and hours. Because I
on
know
end.
firsthand, your bedroom being below mine. Literally, I just hear like Sunbeams. I've heard the chorus to Sunbeams over thousands of times.
I'll literally try and perfect like the slightest thing.
Yeah.
Like it has to sound right to me.
Well, with
otherwise it's
Sunbeams, you were saying you had like 7 mixes back, and one of the things was the snare.
yeah,
Like 7, just all about one great individual thing, which is nice, isn't it?
yeah. I think when you get into a flow with it, I like to use it to distract myself from other things. You know, if I'm like having a shit day or something, I'll be like,
Stressed or something, yeah.
boot up the old Logic, get the MIDI on, create some magic.
Release.
But yeah, I don't like to give myself like a set time to do it.
Yeah.
So is it quite? I mean, as a band as well. So like, do you have ideas and come together, or like, do you schedule time for like we're gonna think about certain things, we're gonna get creative now, or do you just go off on your own?
We kind of
different
flesh
waves and then
out
come
the
back in.
ideas together. Like
Yeah.
I'll bring the main demo, and then with like, because Lawrence is a much better guitar player than me, he'll often like say, "Oh, you know, we can play this riff instead," or you know, sometimes I can't even. I don't even write a riff.
Would my man in that venue have said that though? He was like, just you're not good, you.
Potentially not, but I think we all contribute something. Like when it comes to like playing it as a band for the first time, we sort of like you might change a little rhythm part. Saying, "Oh, why don't we drop out for a bar there?" I think you're quite good at stuff like that.
That's a classic one, isn't it? How about
Yeah.
everyone does nothing for half a second, then it's like, oh yeah.
These guys are tight.
Words by Mill. That
Word
used to
by
be
Mill.
the
Yeah,
thing,
Mill normally
I used to
contributes
sneak
one
lyric
word.
in for the credit there. But,
No, but we're being silly. Like when we're actually like being creative, I think we're a band that do sort of practice something like a number of times and think we actually need to change this little bit and practice it a lot without sort of, we're not going to leave a song sort of
Half
unfinished.
finished. Yeah.
right, yeah.
When do you know it's finished though? Because is it ever finished? Because
Well, I think
When somebody plays the last note.
no, but I mean like,
that's the musician in the band there. Yeah,
right there. No,
the
but
last
do
note.
you not get like the point of no, I could make this better and like become obsessed with something? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you know? Like, yeah, let's just put this out.
You could, but then
I think in the past when we used to just do stuff ad hoc, when we never had like any like space to record demos, we would practice certain bits over and over and try and perfect them. But
Yeah.
now we can create actual demos, like good quality ones. It kind of eliminates that a bit.
And there's a definite difference between recording a single, which is you have a time limit of being in the studio and and you get a finished. You only have so much time to record all the parts and then it's mixed and then that's the song. Versus like rehearsing for the gigs coming up this year. I know I've changed my guitar bit from the last gig that we played before everything. I'm not listening now. To what we'll play next time, and that's just because like we'll change the band and we'll get better.
yeah.
But in terms of a single, I think we do, because we've not recorded like hundreds of demos and not got loads of stuff out there. I think we do still find ourselves in the studio being like, oh, we want to add another bit, and maybe that'll never change. But it's hard to sort of say, right, that's the single now, and leave it to someone to mix it. And
because
then
we have such a
produce.
good relationship with Matt, and we're on the same page creatively with him. We could honestly be there. We could spend a week working on one tune easily. I know we could. Like, you know, when we called time on Sunbeams, I was like, nah, I'm not done here. I'm not done here.
I'm more to give.
I'm excited to see what Sunbeams gives you as well, because it's a new platform in a way, and it's a new like sort of direction
Definitely
as
a
well,
lot
isn't it, as well?
poppier, and there's
And the next one that's
pianos
coming
and-
out is my favourite by
What?
far.
The
I didn't
new
even know the lyrics. I only
Yeah.
heard the bass line, that's enough.
Here's the bass in the kitchen.
We'll just leave it at that then.
Just leave it at the bass line.
As a group, though, we all have our own different things with creativity. Like Joe does a lot of the like sort of like video direction, with editing video we've done.
Yeah.
And I have to give a shout out to Lucas and Josh, emergency service announcement, who do all our graphics and stuff. Because I have a really strong like working relationship with them, where we bounce ideas off each other all the time, and like they're always happy to make stuff for us. They've done all our single covers, do all our logos, all our designs, our headers and stuff.
Sunbeams was by St Michael's Station, wasn't it? By the church.
No, it weren't.
No, that was one of your
York, wasn't it?
pictures. That
Oh yeah. I just went on a walk when it was sunny around my house, and I saw this nice house. So I was like, take a picture of that, and then you were like, that was it. You're like, do you have any pictures of anything sunny? So I sent you across like 10 of mine. Sent one picture my sister had took off her phone. Then you're like, that one's the best one. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, my sister took that. You're like,
Oh
"It's
yeah,
fine."
no.
That's cool, that
I'm getting
one, yeah.
confused with the picture of all yous outside the church.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
is that the pink church?
yeah.
That's the pink church. Yeah.
What did was it your dad who said big doors in Liverpool?
yeah. No, it's like, yeah, everyone must be really tall.
Yeah, the door for the front of the church is massive, and we're all underneath it.
Yeah.
So you
Cool
know.
pick.
Right, we'll have to go on to our next section now, which is, of course,
J Mac agenda here.
Yeah.
album of the week. The album of the week was chosen by Gary from the Minerva Podcast Thailand, and the album was NF.
NF.
The Search.
The Search,
Search,
yeah, The
yeah.
Search.
What an album.
Well,
Sizzle.
it's
There's
not my
been a
it's not my
murder.
type of album. It's not my type of album, but it was his fourth studio album. The second number one consecutively. He beat Chance the Rapper, which apparently was quite a big thing.
Number one in
That was number
what,
one.
in the
In
UK.
US.
Oh, okay,
It
right.
was like 7 in the UK, you know, that album.
Me and you the other day.
he's-
Can I just go off on a tangent here? Me and him were like, I wonder who's number one in the charts at the minute. We didn't know. Like,
Yeah,
it was
God,
25,
it's
the top
a
40. We were
minefield.
like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It's because it's all done off
I-
downloads now and
I got like a
streams.
millisecond through it, you know, it was
Yeah,
West.
it was like, I played the first tune for like half a second and was like, whoa.
There's like, I swear, I was reading the other day, at one point earlier in the year, 7 of the top 10 were so high up in the chart because of how many plays they did on TikTok.
yeah.
Wow. That counts to the charts.
Yeah, it
then?
counts as a stream, I think, if it's played on the
Man,
TikTok.
nice.
wow.
I used to-
Honestly.
wow.
Get some
depressing.
memes. Get
I
some
used to
memes
know
on
the
TikTok,
charts.
mate.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was at college, I used to know
The chart.
the
Yeah,
songs
you could know
coming
the
out.
charts.
I used to know like who had a single coming out in the
Because
next
they were
week.
good. They like,
I keep
some of them
track
weren't
of
that
the
good,
album
but they were
chart.
like,
Yeah, the album chart.
The album chart. More and more people are buying vinyl these days as well.
well, the sales of vinyl is better than ever. Apparently, like since like this, like
Well,
since like this century in a way. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Since CDs.
Yeah.
CDs just
Still
killed off
nothing
vinyl.
compared to what it was when it was records, is it?
Well,
Yeah.
going back,
What I'll say about that album though, it was the NF, the guy.
Yeah, NF.
So I listened to a few songs. Like you, it's not my style of music, but the production on it, like you can tell this guy's voice is the front and center, and they like have made his voice clear as day. So like, I think we all listened to the first song, like, and even a bit of it, you're like, there's no way of not hearing that guy's voice and what he's
Yeah.
saying. And so they did
That's the instrument in it.
yeah, they did a good job on that. But I mean, it's not for me. Like,
yeah, he apparently before the album he was having like really bad suicidal thoughts, and the album was sort of released. Apparently, like he said, like before the album, I was thinking about suicide, and I'll finish the album, all I can think about is God and how blessed I am.
right.
So he said, like,
That's a release, that.
it's a release, like you can feel
Wow.
pain in the album. Like it's quite a lot. I didn't listen to the full
Cathartic.
album, but the lyrics are quite like to the point and gritty and that. And so as I seen online, it was like,
You know what? Like we're saying, we're not that into it, but if that's his way of coping with that and getting through it, then
And it's art. That's
fair
art,
bit,
isn't
fair
it?
point.
It's
You know what I
pure
mean?
form,
exactly,
innit?
yeah, exactly. And
Subjective.
Some good beats as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
very
Get it on,
Eminem-ish. But yeah,
Pull that up, Jacob.
the actual genre itself is classed as Christian rap, and I'd never
Was
knew
it
that
Christian rap then?
is
Okay.
That's quite an oxymoronic term.
I've heard of
Yeah, isn't it?
the guy Tom McDonald, and I've seen that like he's Christian rapping again, not my style, but I've seen him. I didn't realize they were both
Yeah,
Christian rap, but yeah.
but NF is the #1 Christian rap artist in the globe apparently,
Oh wow!
and overall on Spotify he's had over 18 billion streams.
One of his songs had 900 million plays.
Yeah, it's crazy.
like
That's a
one
lot.
song,
That's insane.
and I've never heard.
one of
Of
them was not me.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'd never heard of him.
Yeah, I didn't realize how
I
big he was actually that big. Like I didn't. I was looking, I was like, wow, I didn't realize he was that big.
Out there of what you don't know.
Yeah, you don't even have a
Yeah.
clue. But like for someone that big, you'd expect to like at least heard of him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
somewhere.
But going on to your album of the week,
album,
which is a much better individually opinion, like is take it away.
Technique by New Order.
And would you? I hear a lot of New Order in your music. Would you agree with that? Would you say it's a big inspiration for you?
Yeah.
100%.
I'd say definitely live as well. We're trying to lean into
Yeah.
some of the live elements that New Order have because live shows are mad.
Who else would you say inspirational wise, except for New Order is?
God.
Before we discuss the album.
Got to stick Dua Lipa in there, that far.
No, she's cancelled.
Oh, well.
Has she been cancelled?
Yeah, she's on holiday the whole of the fucking
Yeah,
pandemic.
she had a couple of choice things to say to the Brits.
Not being
Not
funny,
that
if I
else.
was, if
Yeah,
I was that,
didn't
if I
sell
had
it.
dough, I would not be in this country, mate.
I know, but it was just,
Yeah, but it's a
it
global
just felt,
pandemic,
it just
lads,
felt bad, you know.
Yeah.
wasn't
We were all
reading the
sat
room,
there
yeah.
Doesn't sit
clapping
like
for the NHS, and she's like putting up pictures on the beach and
in the
that.
Bahamas and that.
Anyway, yeah, we'll cut that bit out.
Yeah.
What did she say the other night?
Because she was banging on about how like, oh, it's so great how everyone like stayed at home and everything. It's just like
You never.
you didn't. Like,
Oh,
She's
wow.
from
You
really
took the
from
piss with
affluent
it.
families, and she like really.
I
really
was
wealthy,
quite
yeah.
into Dua Lipa as a person, me. I thought she was like
Oh,
quite
I
sad and
think she's banging.
I thought she was quite
Sorry,
legit.
Christina.
Yeah, she won't be happy.
yeah, it's definitely the first thing I've seen her do that's
It's questionable.
pissed me off.
Yeah, the first scandal. Everyone has one.
I remember she went on Fuck That's Delicious or something with Action Bronson. Action Bronson's like, you having a smoke? And she's like, no, I'll say no to that. But
Inspirations wise,
The album,
Tame Impala,
yeah.
obviously,
of course.
are a very big inspiration. It's just like when I'm creating stuff, it's just kind of like I borrow from certain artists, but then I'll lock in on a certain idea. Like there's a particular synth part in Sunbeams that's from a particular song on Technique, and I knew it had to sound exactly like that synth part.
Is that Mr. Disco's on that?
Mr. Disco
I love
was on
that
Take
tune.
the
Yeah.
album, show the album. You brought it, Gad, show it off.
I know, yeah.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Just sit there and just show it to that camera.
Yeah.
So when did that album come out? Was it 80s, 70s?
Smile.
1989.
That's well said,
1989.
man.
What, good year, mate.
It's
What
not.
a year.
It's not the biggest album, is it? New Orders. It's not like the.
They're all 12 inch,
well,
Jay.
the weird thing about New Order is that in a way they weren't really an album band.
I laughed at that one.
Because they used to have
I'm gonna just
so
send
many
it.
standalone singles, like Blue Monday wasn't on an album. Don't think Thieves Like Us was on an album, or Bizarre Love Triangle. Some of their biggest tunes, just, you know, New Order are very much a factory band in that they turned around and said, you know what, fuck conventions. You in the past, you'd record an album and have a lead single from it, and they were like, you know what, we've just made a tune that's going to be the biggest selling 12-inch record ever. We're not putting it on a fucking album. Why would we do that?
Be great, that.
But yeah, in terms of their catalogue of albums, I'd say it's like the ultimate New Order album because it blends everything they had about them. Like, it's got acid house tunes on there, it's got some jangle pop tunes, it's got some post-punk on.
What's the tune of the album?
Dream Attack.
Okay.
I
Last tune.
I like Mr. Disco, but I'll probably
yeah.
listen to it and think of something else after
Yeah.
it. But Mr. Disco stood up before I've
That's
listened to it before. but
really acid housey.
yeah, I'll that's all me.
Lovely. Boss. Who's the next? Oh, that's a good album for the next guest as well. We've got next week.
Whoever's on next week, you're welcome.
Thank me later.
It's New Order.
Yeah.
It's New Order.
It's Craig Charles.
NF.
Sorry.
But
that's
well,
not a wrap, is it?
We've actually got to do this section, and this section is quite a special section because the reason why we've got these books is because the guy over there, Gad. So these are called the Gad jokes.
So what was that gig in Manny where that was subtle learning? That was vague. The one where I can't even remember where it was because I don't know Manchester. I've seen.
Just rolls off the tongue, man.
Give that man a mic. Sorry, we'll start again. So I've seen you twice. Once in that pub.
When
and
you
then,
came down on Thursday night.
when I came down on
Night
Thursday,
People.
Night People, yeah.
Yeah,
And he was like, "Come with me." Took me into the green room and everything. I was like, "Ooh." He's like, "I've got something for you." Took me all the way to the back and he went, "So I bought this thing today," and he was like, and I thought, I've never bought anyone a gift this good, and I was like, shit, and he gave me this, and I was like, oh my god, because we like dad jokes, so they're called Gad jokes, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then I got that one for Jay for Christmas.
Do you want to?
You can't give one without the other, can you?
Yeah.
Just want to read out one each. Take one, pass it on.
His and his.
Yeah. Or just his and his, yeah. Or just know any Gad jokes. Dad jokes.
I've got one, but I don't know if it counts. I'll try it. We
Go
can
on.
decide after.
Shoot.
Keep it clean, Joe.
So-
Come on.
Keep it PG.
This is before the watershed.
Yeah, this is an 8 p.m. podcast.
So, why did the bike fall over? Because it was too tired.
Oh.
Oh. Yamaha, ha, 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 ha.
There's some good ones in here.
There is, but we don't cross them out, so it's probably been used.
Oh,
Say it
God.
anyway, though.
All right, Can I show
Alright.
it to you, and then if it's been said,
Yeah, go on.
oh, I've lost it now.
I've got mine.
I'll choose a new one. I'll choose
Go
a
on,
new
Mel,
one.
read out.
Go on, let's go for this one then.
Yeah.
Count
no.
February, March. No, but April, May.
Fucking
Can
hell.
have that
That's
one.
good. What about that one?
Pass it.
I love that.
sorry.
No,
Before
no.
we go.
This is a very, very, very good one.
This is a dad one. That I just texted my girlfriend Ruth and told her that it's over between us, and now I'm ruthless. That's good, man. That's great.
That's a dad
I'm
joke.
keeping
isn't it?
that one,
Keep
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Put that in your pocket. Rip it out.
I'll show you one.
Which days of the week are the strongest? Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays.
For a guy who loves linguistics, that's perfect.
That's a
Isn't it?
nice one.
If you spent your day in a well, can you say your day was well spent?
Oh,
Oh, shit.
And on that bombshell.
Boys, thank you very much.
But what have we learned today?
thank you.
We've learned that
Yeah,
it's great to bring friends together
Yeah.
into the studio, and I'm
We learned that
excited.
Ray Charles died in 2004.
And it's from Canny Farm. Do you know what I've learned today?
No, he wasn't. Ray Charles went from Canny Farm.
Ray Charles from Canny Farm.
That's the joke. What I've learned today, lad, is new housemate, new studio, new podcasting style. You with your agenda, man. Fucking hell. Proper BBC gear today from you.
What's the agenda, Brenda?
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And you're going to do a little tune now, which is one I've heard a lot recently, but another time's even better because it's such a good song.
It's amazing.
It's Edwyn Collins, and it is
A Girl Like You.
Girl Like You.
Take it away.
Take it away. Cue the music.